A rich African king wanted to transfer his whole wealth and kingdom to his only son, the prince. He called the prince and said, "Son, if you can give me the sum of $10,000 cash, I will hand over all my wealth and kingdom to you." The son was very happy and ran to his mother, the queen, collected the sum of $10,000 and went back to the king saying, "Your Majesty, this is the $10,000. You can now hand over all your wealth and kingdom to me." He gave the $10,000 to the king. Meanwhile, the king sat by the fireplace when his son came. So, he collected the money from his son and started throwing them into the fire one after the other. The prince was surprised and shouted, "Your Majesty, that is not my money. It is my mother's money. Do not destroy it." But the king was adamant and continued to throw the money into the fire. The son slowly collected the remaining money and went away. He told his mother everything that happened, and his mother consoled him and told him not to worry about paying back the money thrown into fire. Months later, the king called his son again and said, "If you can give me the sum of $10,000, I will hand over all my wealth and kingdom to you." The son went out and borrowed $10,000 from his friends and came back to his father and said, "Your Majesty, this is the $10,000. You can now hand over all your wealth and kingdom to me." He gave the $10,000 to the king. Again, the king was at the fireplace when he came. So, the king collected the money and started throwing them into the fire as usual. His son got surprised again, collected the remaining money, and slowly went away. Because some of the money had been burnt in the fire, he became a debtor to his friends. Out of anger and shame, the prince ran away from the village and moved to an unknown destination. Being all alone in his new place of residence, he was faced with challenges. So he started hustling and doing all sorts of work to make ends meet. For many years, nobody saw or heard about him. After some period of years, he made money out of his personal struggles. Suddenly, he remembered his father's promise that if he could provide $10,000, he would own the wealth and kingdom of his father. He counted all the money that he had in his safe, and it was exactly $10,000. He put them in his bag and traveled home. He met his father and said, "Your Majesty, this is $10,000. You can now hand over all your wealth and kingdom to me." As usual, his father was at the fireplace when he came. His father collected all the money and started throwing them into the fire again. He picked the first wrap of money, and before he could throw it into the fire, his son grabbed his hand with speed and force, saying, "Your Majesty, don't ever try that rubbish with this my hard-earned money." The king struggled to throw the money into the fire, but his son grabbed not only his hands but his throat, saying, "Your Majesty, I swear by the gods of our land, if you throw any penny into the fire, I will strangle you right here and throw you into the same fire. I suffered to get this money." The king was still adamant and tried to throw the money into the fire, but the son got angry the more, squeezed his father's hands, twisted his neck, and nearly strangled him. The father started shouting, saying, "Remember, I am your father and king of your village." The boy, out of anger, replied, "This is not about father or king. It is about my hard-earned money, my sweat, my labor. Burn it and I will burn you alive." The king's wife, the queen, heard her husband shouting. She rushed to the scene and saw father and son fighting over money. She intervened and freed her husband from the stronghold of her son. The young boy was filled with anger, and his two eyes were red and mean as he collected all his money and put them in his pocket. As he was about to leave the scene in anger, his father, the king, called him back and sat him down. The king said to his son, "My son, now you have proved to me that you can protect and safeguard my wealth and kingdom if I hand them over to you. You made this particular money out of your sweat. That was why you didn't want it to be wasted. That was why you protected it with all your life. The other monies that you allowed me to burn in the fire were not made by you. You got them without sweat. You got them without stress. You got them without struggle. No one can protect wealth that he did not make. You can only protect wealth that you made." With that, the king took his son by the hands and handed him over all his wealth and kingdom. In life, do not cry or weep when you ask for something in prayers and it seems like God did not answer. It could be that you are not disciplined enough to handle what you are requesting. It could be that you are not spiritually mature enough to handle what you are asking for in prayers. It could be that you are not yet well experienced to handle the position you are looking for. Delay is not denial. and suffering is not cause. Some delays and sufferings are necessary for our upliftment. Experience does not just come on its own, it comes through suffering and tribulation. Do not be afraid of suffering. Do not cry for disappointment. Disappointment, they say, is blessing in disguise. Opportunities come to us in work clothes. May God help you to never run away from your opportunities, no matter the clothes they come with. Do not despise the days of your disappointment, because they are the beginnings of your appointment. This is African Riders TV. I am Chukwumajem Okoro. If you get value from this video, support us and subscribe to our channel. Remember, subscription is completely free of charge. Thank you for watching this video.